Good morning. I want to thank Chairman Lucas and Ranking Member Lofgren for convening this hearing and our witnesses for being present today. The Inflation Reduction Act focused many of its critical minerals provisions on tax credits, which are being implemented through the Department of Treasury. Guidance from Treasury on 45X, the Advanced Manufacturing Production Tax Credit, requires that manufacturers to sell their unprocessed high-purity aluminum to an unrelated third party before they can access the credit. I represent workers at Arconic in the Quad Cities of Illinois and Iowa who produce high-purity aluminum and shape it into aluminum sheet or plate before they sell it to a third party. Congress intended for a wide array of companies to qualify for 45X. However, Treasury's current guidance likely precludes one of the largest domestic manufacturers of high-purity aluminum from accessing the credit. Mr. P., how has the Treasury Department relied on the expertise of you and your colleagues at the Department of Energy as they work to implement these highly technical tax credits?
So this one is out of my purview, but I do know that there's technical assistance that goes on between DOE and Treasury.
Thank you for that. Also in my district, we have an electric vehicle manufacturer, Rivian, in my district in Illinois. However, according to the company, the structure of the IRA does not allow the company to secure lithium specifically from South America because the lithium cannot be refined before it is imported. And so this does not allow the company the access to the IRA tax credits. It creates immense cost and delays Rivian's path to profitability, which secures the 7,000 workers in my district their jobs. Mr. P., to you again, the intent of the IRA is to support the domestic renewable energy sector. But with limited access to refining capabilities in the U.S., should Congress take action to allow companies to access IRA tax credits when they purchase critical minerals refined in an allied foreign country?
So I know that's the intent of the tax credit. I can't comment on if there should be legislative changes or Congress changes to how it's implemented. I'd have to refer you to Treasury for a comment on that.
Does anyone on our panel today find this troublesome?
Congressman, I actually testified on this subject before another committee relatively recently, and I think what it comes down to is proper oversight and implementation. These are difficult, complicated measures to actually enforce and impact. So I think that the way forward, which I think has been started and is in progress with this administration, is to have central oversight from White House leadership, ensure that there's that proper level of coordination and implementation of a lot of these executive and legislative actions. So I think what it really comes down to is further empowerment of some of the White House coordinating entities in terms of ensuring proper interagency collaboration and implementation.
Do you think that there's more work that Congress should be doing on that?
My recommendation would be continued encouragement of the White House to enable that level of coordination and oversight related to that as well too. I believe that the White House desires and is attempting to do that. Any way that they can be supported in that implementation by the Congress, I think would be beneficial for all.
In my last minute to you, Dr. Mulvaney, I serve as the ranking member on our committee's Space and Aeronautics Subcommittee. I've heard from aerospace stakeholders in my district that some companies are turning to Europe for R&D dollars due to the funding landscape here in the U.S. These dollars come with requirements that some of the work be done in that country providing the funding. Have you found this to be a problem in the critical mineral sector?
I understand it is, and I think my colleague might be able to answer that even a little more clearly, if that's okay.
Correct.
Would you mind speaking to that, Jeff?
Well, yeah. So as I mentioned in my statement, all of our funding has come from foreign governments, or not foreign companies or institutions, because the United States is not investing in this particular area of mineral exploration. And I think what we have done with the group is also look at this as Americans, right? which countries should we be collaborating with and which companies should we be collaborating with. And we've clearly said in our group there are companies and countries we will just not collaborate with. But it would be better for the United States to support much more on the mineral exploration from inside. So groups like myself don't have to go outside the country to get funding.
Let's make it in America.
Yes.
Thank you all.